Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast, the podcast where we play games, mumble profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome back to the Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jenn.
My name is Emily. I feel like that's the fastest I've ever gone through our disclaimer. I definitely got a couple things wrong, but I was like listening to myself talk by the end of it, and I was like, I sound like those farm auctioneers or whatever. I was like, and I was like, ooh, okay.
You're like, let's get this shit done. We're ready to get out of here today.
Exactly. Well, Jen, how have you been? How's your last week been?
Honestly, I've been chilling. I'm unemployed right now, so I think I was telling you this when I saw you last, but I feel like I go through these like periods, like when I finish a job or whatever, where like the first week is a nothing week. I'm anxious and also usually sick, and like just trying to like remember how to be a like real person again, because when I'm working, I'm not a real person. I'm just like barely existing.
Yep.
And then after that, I go through like a phase of like remembering like, oh, I can have hobbies and do activities. This is really fun.
Yeah.
So we're currently in the hobbies and activities phase, and honestly, me and my husband, because we're both unemployed, have just been playing. What's it called again? Expedition 33?
Obscura / Expedition 33. Yep.
Yeah, and it's really fun. So we've been playing that together. I've been reading a little bit, trying to finish the 2 books that I've been working on since April and have barely had time to finish, but I am like almost done both of them now, so then we can finally start the next 4th wing book.
Can't wait. I was going to ask if we were there yet, but I've also just not like
we're so close.
Been super into reading, so I'm kind of like, I'm okay with that. I'm like, if it takes a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We'll get back into it as soon as you are ready, because I feel like, how was your week?
My week was good. Very busy though. Unlike Jen, I've been dealing with 800 million things, so that's always fun. But I do have a little thing that I've gotten into recently that has brought me a little bit of shame, because I've been just so like I've been dogging a little bit on people who've been doing this for so long, and now I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, it's actually really fun.
Oh, what?
I've been playing
buying Labubu's?
No, I already did that. I've been playing World of Warcraft.
Honestly, though, I'm kind of surprised it took you this long to get into it, because it does seem like it's just Dungeons and Dragons, but like online, is it not?
Basically, but the reason that I haven't really been involved with it was because I just had like an idea, I think, or like a complex about it, because I was remembering when I first saw World of Warcraft, it would have been a long time ago, and I remember thinking, this seems like a little bit complex for me. Like, it's been a game that's been running, I think, like, since 2004. So I was like, like, I don't know if this is really for me. Like, this seems to be very, like, I'm gonna go and, like, bash people over the head sort of thing. I'm not really, like, also just, like, as a personal preference, I don't normally play games that involve other real-life people. I do a lot of games that are solo, where it's just me playing the game, like me doing the RPG, or doing the puzzle game, or doing the simulation game. I don't play a lot of games where it's like, oh, your job is literally get on this game, make friends, and go do stuff. I'm like, ooh, wait, let's take it easy. I don't know. So, my husband recently... we got a computer that could actually run it for the first time in like a long time. So he was like, well, why don't you try it? We can get like a month for free, and then you can see how you feel about it, since he used to play it a lot. And every time I'm playing a fantasy video game, there'll be times where he'll be watching me and he's like, oh, this is so much like World of Warcraft. So I was a little curious. So we started running a split shift basically where one night I'll be playing World of Warcraft and he'll be watching and giving me tips, and then the next night he'll be playing and he'll be showing me different things on what I can do for like battling people and stuff. So it has actually been really fun. I've been really enjoying it, and it's kind of like a weird like playing together but not playing together sort of thing. I'd love it if I could play with him. I
That's
think
kind of
that'd be fun, but we'll see. Maybe one day.
Yeah. See, me and my husband, like, that's because Expedition 33 is like a solo player game, but like we kind of like, he does the fighting and stuff because I don't like that part of video games. I'm really bad at it. And I do like the fun like exploring story part and like changing their hairstyles and stuff.
No, that's for real been basically how my husband and I have been playing, which is I like so I went through character creator. That's been the big fun thing for me, is making all the different characters and picking their classes and who they're going to be and stuff. So that was so fun. And then now that I've done that, I know. So I made it's funny. So I made what I've been calling roster A and roster B, which is basically I made 8 characters, and now I'm playing through all of them, and I'm playing them up to level 10 on each one. And then basically at level 10, you can pick your subclass, which is just like, so for example, if you want to be a rogue, which is what it sounds like, you pick locks and you're sneaky and you stab people. When you get to level 10, you get to pick a subclass, which is basically like, well, what kind of sneaky person do you want to be? Do you want to be an assassin, or do you want to be a pirate, or do you want to be something else? So obviously I'm a pirate, because why would you want to be anything else?
Yeah, only option really.
Literally. So, but I want to do that with each one of the characters though, so that I can create a favorites list and then prioritize my experience with those characters and their quest lines, because different races start out in different parts of the world. Different classes, you get different types of quests, which is really cool. So I've been having a lot of fun, way more fun than I thought I would. And you can either start out with like a darker purpose in life, or like a more heroic purpose in life. They call it basically the Alliance or the Horde. So I'd
for sure be the villain.
I know you would. So I was about to say, so I've been like playing around with those two. So I literally have like 4 people who are like, we're heroes, and then 4 people who are like, I'm looking for revenge. But then each like race you pick has a different motivation. So like one of them is literally like, my race was wronged, we're getting revenge. The other one is, my race was captured and forced to be prisoners, and we're looking to break the chains, basically. Or we're fighting for our freedom, or like stuff like this. So it's really neat, like how it all plays out. And you can do hobbies. You could become a tailor, or a jewelry maker, or a fisherman. Yeah, a chef. You can do so many things.
That sounds cool.
I know. And then I was like, the other day I was playing, and I was just like wandering around. I found a cheese merchant, just a man who sells cheese. And I was like, this game is great.
And you're like, now I have a new goal.
Literally, I was like, I'm going to find every cheese merchant. And then Andrew was like, and you could. And I was like, and I probably will.
Hell yeah, you will. Hell yeah, I believe in you.
Right? So anyway, so that's what I've been up to, and that's been fun. But at this point, I literally could talk about World of Warcraft forever if you let me. So maybe we should just get into the wheel of questions.
Yes, we shall. Spin away,
If you got a magical flying, I guess. If you got a magical item to fly around, but it had to be something from your kitchen, what would you pick?
Knives.
Okay, wait. You said multiples. So do you want the knife block with the knives in it to be your flying item, or just like a bunch of knives?
A bunch of knives.
Wait, that's really funny.
I want anyone who comes into the kitchen to feel threatened.
Yeah, they're like, I've made a huge mistake.
I'm like, get away from my bocconcini.
Literally. Oh my god, that's so funny. I always do this when I make my questions, is I never think about my own answer, and then you say something really good, and then I don't know what to say. I feel like when I wrote this question originally, I was kind of leaning towards spatula, but it also feels like a little bit of a basic bitch answer as far as like kitchen utensils go. So maybe I would ride a flying... Ooh, actually, you know, it'd be a really good thing to fly on. Just because I'm assuming...
Oh, I'm riding on the knives?
Yeah, you're going to ride on
I was
them.
just thinking they were like...
Oh, no.
Around the kitchen.
If you got a magical item to fly around, but it had to be something from your kitchen. Yeah, I'm just going to say, like, let's say you're riding on it. Like a witch. Would it still be the knife block?
No, just a bunch of knives.
Oh, okay, so your answer is the same. See, it doesn't matter. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm thinking, like, just for versatility reasons, like, what do I use more in my kitchen? Because that would just suck if I had to, like, use, like, a flying whatever to cut up my meat, like a flying cleaver all the time. That'd be kind of annoying. So maybe I want something that I don't use all the time. I'm going to choose a flying whisk. I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
I could see that for you.
Right? Because I'm a cooker, not a baker. But a whisk feels just cool enough to be able to make that work.
It's also giving broom, you know, like
right?
Broom alternative.
It is giving broom alternative. I was thinking, like, what else would I want? And I was like, if I wanted to be really cool, I could pick, like, actually, now that I think about this, might be a better answer. Like a milk frother would be hilarious.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That's also giving broom alternative, but, like, more fun.
Right? Maybe I'll go with that one then. It does have a certain little novelty to it that speaks to me. Because then otherwise, I was like, the only thing I could think of are, like, garlic masher and lemon press. And I'm like, neither of those things feel like good options. But I do like the option of the milk frother. That speaks to me.
You know what? I think that's perfect.
Right? So I love that for us. So you have your mysterious amount of knives that you fly around on, and then I have a milk frother.
Various knives.
Various knives. That's true.
Various.
All right, let's spin for the next question. If you were a witch, would you want to be known as a good witch or a bad witch? I feel like I know your answer just based on your recent energy you've been giving off, but...
I want to be a villain. I mean...
Like, do you want the children who walk by your house to be like, if she looks at you in the eyes, your toes will grow hairy and you'll never find a wife? Or do you want to be like the witch where, like, people are, like, knocking on your door and being like, I need a pie to kill my husband. And you're like, I can do that. Here's a mushroom pie.
I mean, I'm totally okay with option number 2 if that's what we're going with, you know? It's giving that one lady who I covered not that long ago.
It is. I can't remember her name at this minute, but it's giving big energy.
I know. It's like... I can't remember. Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys. Okay, my only gripe with it being a bad witch is I don't want kids, like random vigilante children trying to kill me all the time. Like, I feel like if you're like, oh, she's a bad witch, you're almost inviting more people to, like, you know, it's like Wicked, you know? They're like, we're gonna kill the Wicked Witch of the West. But I'm like, she's minding her fucking business.
That's
like,
true.
Hello?
But then there's also the, like, when you think about it with Hansel and Gretel, I mean... she, like, that could be, like, the direction that you go in, where you're like, okay, so I don't want children visiting. I'm literally gonna cook and eat you in my candy house. And then no other children will come here because they'll be like, oh my god, she's gonna eat me.
Yeah, you know what? See, I'll be a good witch with a bad reputation. I think that's my dream.
That's way better. I like that a lot. A good witch with a bad reputation. Wait, our album that we're not making should be called that.
Yes. It will have
reputation.
13 songs, you know, for like and it will release on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
So look forward to it, guys.
Yes. TM.
Yes. Don't steal our idea, okay?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not scary enough to be like a true bad witch, like the kind where people are like pointing at me in my house and being like, look at her, she's ugly and evil. Don't go near her, she smells bad. I feel like I'm just way too social to be able to pull that off successfully. I think I have no alternative but to be a good witch. But I would be like, I'm okay with being a good witch, but with like mysterious motivations where you're like, You can talk to
I
her.
like that for you.
Yeah, like you can talk to her. Are you going to get really what you want out of the conversation? Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Who's to say?
I love it for you. See, I'm a good witch with bad reputation, and you're a good witch with mysterious motivations.
Yes, I do love
I think that suits us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Because, like, I feel like for me, like, I'm trying to be evil, but, like, I genuinely feel like I'm not an evil person most of the time.
Which is so funny.
But, like, I would like to be.
No, literally.
I'm working on it.
For our listeners who do play video games a little bit, I had Jen try the game Date Everything, and immediately, not even 2 seconds into playing the game, she's like, I'm going to make everybody hate me except for the one man who wants to buy 1,000 staples, or whatever his deal is. Safety pins.
They were paper clips.
Yes.
And listen, he had a really sexy voice, so...
And then she got into it, and she's like, ooh, the fireplace? Yeah, he's gonna hate me. The couch? He's gonna hate me too. The TV? Definitely gonna hate me.
I'm here to make enemies, okay? I enjoy making enemies.
That's good.
I love enemies to lovers. Okay, listen, you gotta hate me, and then maybe we can grow to like each other when put into certain circumstances. This is what I'm curating for myself.
See, I love that for you. That's good. And then I too also feel like I am a good witch with mysterious motivations, because people are just like, I don't know what her deal is. She's definitely...
Something's going on, though.
She's not out to get me, but...
But maybe.
But she could be. I don't really know.
Who's to say?
Who
is to say?
Right? All right, let's spin for our next question. If you were going to move somewhere remote today, where would you pick?
Oh, Jesus. Remote?
Yeah. Like, you don't even need to pick, like, an actual literal living place if you don't have one in mind. Like, just what's the most remote location you can think of where... Let's say you've had, like, the actual worst day at work, and you're like, if I never had to see another person for the rest of my life, I would be happy. Where do you go in your mind where will never see another living person again and you would be happy?
That's hard for me because I am a city girl. So, like, I don't know. Like,
you're like a
maybe
small
the
apartment.
top of the Empire State Building.
You're like a small apartment in the quietest part of the city.
Yeah, pretty much.
The top of the Empire
Next
State
to a pizza
Building.
shop.
That's employed by robots. Yeah.
Exactly. But, like, can I bring my dog?
Well, yeah, because he's not a
my
person. And I guess you could bring your husband, because I feel like when you get married, that
he's just decoration.
They become different. They're just a part of the household. You don't need to worry about that.
Exactly. And I'll bring you.
Obviously.
Okay. We're done.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm happy.
Me too.
At the top of the Empire State Building.
See, for me, I feel like, and this is so weird for me too, because this is not something I would ever actually want to do in real life. But if I ever have a day where I'm like, I want to flee the country and just never see another person ever again, I always picture in my head, like, me on, like, a Scottish island where it's just foggy all the time, and I'm like wearing like all like gray wool, and nobody speaks to me, and they're like, there's a strange lady who lives on that island and she speaks to nobody. That's me.
And raises sheep.
Literally, you see the vision.
I do see the vision for you. Honestly,
and
you
I
might
never
do
would,
it someday.
But if I was to, I would.
You might.
But I would get one of those like the Shaun the sheep, like the black faces and like the black little feet and like the white poofy hair. Those are the sheep I would have.
I can see that for you in an alternate universe, you know?
And I can see you living on top of a remote pizza shop.
You know what? We are true to who we are.
We are true to who we are. Yeah, that's really funny. Okay, I got one more question for you. Are you ready?
Yes, spin away.
This is a very serious question.
Okay, I'm ready.
If your house became sentient tonight,
oh God,
and grew a pair of legs, what legs would you prefer? They can be bug, animal, robot, human, anything. Literally anything. But the answer you give tonight when your house grows legs, that's what you're going to have for the rest of your life.
I mean, I was immediately picturing, like, you know, that, like, lamp in A Christmas Story where it's like
A
the
human
lady
leg.
with fishnets
Oh my
and
god,
like
yeah.
heels.
Yeah.
That's what I was immediately picturing.
I actually really like the idea of lady legs with fishnets. I think that'd be really cool for a house. That'd be crazy though.
You know, a little sexy, you know, got some curb appeal.
Right? I would go with, I think, velociraptor legs. For no
That makes sense for
truly
you.
good reason, but I do feel like as far as like the physical exterior of what a house looks like, there's just something that speaks to me about like a nice stone or brick house with a pair of velociraptor legs. I feel like that would be aesthetically very like cohesive.
Yeah, like the reptile skin kind of like, you know, gives it a little something something extra.
Yeah, definitely, especially because you can't have a lawn. You don't have a lawn. Your house has
No.
legs. So you need a little bit of green in there somewhere.
You know what? I love that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe your your house that wears fishnets and I'm assuming high heels. Maybe you can have green high heels.
Yeah.
And then we could be matching.
I mean, I was picturing pink. But maybe she can have like some sort of weird, you know, gross mold growing between her toes or something.
Or your house could just be mossy.
My house could be mossy. There we go.
Right? And I do like the idea of pink high heels. That feels very like a je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. You know, she's a classy lady, okay?
Very classy. All right. Well, can you guess what my story is for you today? There is, just to be clear, for any of our past listeners who may have listened from episode 1, if you did, I'm so sorry, until today. I am 99% sure that I've covered this story already, but I looked through all of my notes. I looked through our episode list. I did everything and could not find it, but I also know that we've done a different naming convention for our episodes, so it's possible.
Yeah.
So if this
we have
sounds-
gone through some like different eras of
Yes.
the
So if
podcast.
it sounds familiar to either you or our listeners, I apologize, but I do hope this is kind of like a more novel experience since I know for sure we have not covered it within the last, I think, 2 to 3 years. So if I have, it would have been before then.
It's a spooky episode, I assume.
It definitely is. It's very on par for October.
For Spooktober.
Yes. So.
Well, it's giving witch. It's also honestly kind of giving like Wizard of Oz, like the witch who gets crushed.
The witch,
I can't speak English.
The witch that lives under the house.
That's my guess.
Yeah. You're actually very close. This is Baba Yaga. Have you heard
Ooh.
of Baba Yaga?
I feel like maybe we talked about this at some point, but I feel like it was a really long time ago.
See, that's what I felt too. Because for me, I was doing my notes and I'm like, I'm certain that I've done notes on her before. Like, I can just feel it. But I also just could not find the episode. So I'm like, you know what? That's okay. We'll do a refresher.
Honestly,
a small refresher
yeah.
for you guys on who Baba Yaga is. Because she's fun. We like her.
Yeah. What a queen. I honestly don't remember anything about the story. The name sounds kind of familiar, but I have no clue who she is or what she's all about. So I'm excited to hear about her potentially again.
Right?
Potentially for the first time.
Well, and I
don't know.
that the reason that so basically I know who Baba Yaga is, but I've known who Baba Yaga is for a long time because when I was I think like really young, I watched a cartoon where she was in it, and when I was doing my notes, I was like, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, is just like the fact that I've already known who she is. But I'm also pretty sure we did an episode. But we'll see. If this is familiar by the end, I guess we'll find out. But I'll do my description for you.
I guess we will.
And then we'll go from there.
Oh my god, if we're doing like a rehash of an old episode, does that mean I have to tell a joke at the beginning again?
Oh god, I mean you could. Do you have a joke cooking? What's up?
I don't have a joke cooking. Okay, hold on. Let me get a joke cooking. Just 1 second.
Oh god.
Hold on. Okay, I cannot promise this is gonna be good. In fact, I'm sure it's gonna be bad. Okay. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Grave.
Grave who?
Grave mistake letting a zombie in.
Oh, good one. Wow.
Got him. I got him.
Got him.
Don't worry, guys.
To be fair, I don't think I've heard that before, so you got me.
You know what? Just had to dust off the old dad jokes that we used to do.
I would have.
And I will never be doing that again. Thank you very much.
It would have been funnier too if it was like. Actually, this probably wouldn't have been funnier. This is just a bad. Like if it was like, knock knock, who's there? Dracula. Dracula who? Oh no, you let me in your house and now you're dead. Oops. I got one long finger. I got one long fingernail and now I'm touching you with it. Got him.
Tap on you. We know.
Yikes. Yeah, got him.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I solemnly swear you'll never hear that from me again.
Oh my god. Okay, so here's the description. Baba Yaga is a female character or one of a trio of sisters of the same name, which is hilarious, from Slavic folklore, which has two contrasting roles. In some narratives, she's described as a repulsive or ferocious-looking old woman who fries and eats children, while in others, she's depicted as a nice old woman who helps the hero. She's often associated with forest wildlife, and her distinctive traits are flying around on a wooden mortar, wielding a pedestal, or pestle, and dwelling deep in the forest in a hut with chicken legs.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
That's why I was like, the minute I get into the description, if we have covered this episode, that should sound familiar. Like, flying around in a mortar, with a pedestal, lives in a house that is propped up on chicken legs.
Honestly, I still, like, I feel like we must have covered, like, if we did cover this, it must have been, like, a very long time ago. Because, like, the details still really aren't, like, fully clicking for me, but the name does sound familiar.
That's good, though.
But either way, I'm excited to hear about her.
Amazing. I do love,
because she sounds like an icon.
She
honestly
does. Well, and I love, too, in the description, it's like, or one of a trio of sisters with the same name. And then I was like, could you imagine, you're in a family, and you have two sisters, or three including you, and you all have the same name, but you're all known for, like, wildly different things. Like, oh, this is the good Baba Yaga, but my sister, Baba Yaga, loves frying and eating children. Loves it.
She's a little crazy. What can we say?
And then the third Baba Yaga, we don't know what her problem is, but she keeps inviting men over, and that's kind of freaky. We don't know what her deal is.
Honestly valid.
Right?
Inviting men over is freaky. Girlie's got a death wish, apparently.
Apparently. She doesn't know what she's getting into. But yeah.
She's crazy.
Well, with that, I will get into my story, and then we'll check in at the end and see if this is familiar for you. But that being said, let's get into it. So, variations of the name Baba Yaga are found in many Slavic languages. In Serbo-Croatian, Macedonia, Romanian, and Bulgarian, Baba means grandmother or old woman. In contemporary Polish and Russian, Baba is also pejorative as a pejorative synonym for woman, and in particular, one who is old, dirty, or foolish. Which is great.
That sounds rude.
Yeah. Andreas Johns speculates that Baba serves two linguistic purposes in the name. Firstly, it adds a familiar component to the lesser-known word Yaga, and secondly, it clarifies that the character is female. The etymology of Yaga is less clear. There is no consensus among scholars about its meaning. In the 19th century, Alexander Afanasiev proposed the derivation, I don't know, of Proto-Slavic Oz and Sanskrit Ahi, serpent. This etymology has been explored by 20th century scholars. Related terms include the Serbian and Croatian jeza, horror, sudden or shudder, chill, Sloven jeza, anger, Old Czech jeza, which is witch, legendary evil female being, which is what I would like to be known as. Modern.
It's what I am known as.
Yeah, the jeze. I think that's how you say that. I could be wrong. Probably am.
Jeze, Jenn.
It's almost identical.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. Modern Czech Jazinka, which is wicked wood nymph or dryad. Here, you can be Jeze, and I could be Jazinka.
I think that works for us, honestly.
Yeah. And then the Polish Jedza, which is witch, evil woman, fury. The term appears in Old Church Slavonic as jedza, disease. In other Indo-European languages, the element Yaga has been linked to Lithuanian engiti, which is to abuse continuously, to belittle, or to exploit. And then the Old word Inca, doubt, worry, or pain. And the Old Norse iki, pain, worry. So the whole reason on why I've gotten into the etymology of what the word Baba Yaga means is, for a lot of people, the character of Baba Yaga is weird because her name is literally direct derivations of old world meanings of words. So that's also why there's so many interpretations of her, because it depends on what part of the world and everything else. But also, you think Baba Yaga is a name, but it's not. It's a descriptor. So that's why I went through all these different things. It's like, if I was to call you or to call somebody else like brunette tall, that's the equivalent of like what Baba Yaga is. Or it's like a physical descriptor and what you do, like blue-eyed running woman. It'd be like introducing a character like that to somebody. So that's clearly not like,
right.
Well, that's what we call her, so that's her name, but it's less...
But it's more of like who she is.
Exactly. So that kind of just sets the precedent of like what to expect out of my story. So
right.
There are many depictions of Baba Yaga that have been taken from various fairy tales, but they do not create a coherent image. The first clear reference of Baba Yaga, which in this particular one they call her Iaga Baba, occurs in 1755 in Mikhail V. Lomonosov's Russian grammar. In Lomonosov's grammar book, Baba Yaga is mentioned twice, among other figures largely from Slavic tradition. The second of the two mentions occurs within the list of Slavic gods and beings next to the presumed equivalents in Roman mythology. So the Slavic god Perun, for example, appears equated with the Roman god Jupiter. Baba Yaga, however, appears in the third section without an equivalence, highlighting her perceived uniqueness even in this first known attestation. In the narratives in which Baba Yaga appears, she displays a number of distinctive attributes: a turning chicken-headed hut, a mortar, pedestal, and or a mop or a broom. Baba Yaga may ride on the broom, or most recognizably inside of a mortar, using the broom to sweep away her tracks. Russian ethnographer Andrei Torpakov explains Baba Yaga's selection of tools by numerous pagan rituals involving women. He suggests that the pestle was first to be used by Baba Yaga because it used to be used as a weapon. As such, it was used in a number of rituals, and the mortar was added later by association. Baba Yaga often bears the epithet Baba Yaga Kostoyan... I was trying to practice this earlier, and Kostyanayainoga. I cannot say that. But it means bony leg. Baba Yaga bony leg. Or Baba Yaga es zehel zinyami zubami, with iron teeth. When inside her dwelling, she may be found stretched out over the stove, reaching from one corner of the hut to the other. Baba Yaga may sense and mention the Ruski Duk, Russian scent, of those who visit her, and her nose may stick into the ceiling. Particular emphasis may be placed on some narrators of the repulsiveness of her nose, breasts, buttocks, or vulva.
Wow. Men really will just say anything, won't they?
My favorite is just, she already has some crazy imagery associated with her, like the whole chicken hut, and like...
They're like, yeah, her vagina, evil, wicked, literally controlling.
And then when they get to the physical descriptions of her, they're like, her nose pokes through the ceiling. Her arms are so long she can touch each corner of her hut. What was the other thing? Oh, apparently because her nose is humongous. She also can smell what race you are. That's crazy.
That is fucking nuts.
That's nuts. And then lastly, they're like, and also, yeah, her vagina literally drags on the ground. Lips, so long. And I'm like,
get ready. It's a wicked one.
And it's like, yeah, that's scary.
Like,
Oh my
Okay.
god. Yeah, like,
Jesus Christ.
what happened to her? And I'm like, maybe that's why she rides the mortar, though, is because she's like, I don't need people staring at my junk. Like, I get it. My lips flap in the wind. I can't ride a broom. Just put me in the mortar with the pedestal and call it a day.
My lips flap in the wind.
I just couldn't even believe it. And then,
That's crazy.
besides the other things, which is that she's known to either have bony legs. So not only that, they're like, and she skips leg day. Okay. And then with iron teeth. And it's like, okay, so she's feral with a huge nose and huge lips. Okay. I mean, good for her.
Like,
but
was
also,
this description written by her ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Who's like really pissed.
I'm like, okay, so who wrote this? Yeah, literally. It's like, okay, so it was like an ex-lover? Like a hater who wrote this?
I think so.
For sure. Oh my god, so ridiculous. So then sometimes Baba Yaga is said to live in the faraway or thrice ninth tsardom, beyond the thrice nine kingdoms in the 30th realm. Beyond the fiery river lives the Baba Yaga. In some tales, a trio of Baba Yagas appear as sisters, all sharing the same name. For example, in a version of The Maiden Tsar, collected in the 19th century by Alexander Afanasiev, Ivan, a handsome merchant's son, makes his way to the home of one of the three Baba Yagas. And this is just like an excerpt from the Maiden Tsar, like the book. So
yeah,
it goes, he journeyed onwards straight ahead and finally came to a little hut. It stood in the open field, turning on chicken legs. He entered and found Baba Yaga the bony-legged. Fie, fie, she said. The Russian smell was never heard of nor caught sight of here, but it has come by itself. Are you here of your own free will, or by compulsion, my good youth? Largely of my own free will, and twice as much by compulsion. Do you know, Baba Yaga, where lies the thrice 10th kingdom? No, I do not, she said, and told him to go to her second sister. She might know. So, it very much is giving the Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
For, like, the way the story's being told. But then also, there was something else about that I was going to add on to, but it's just an interesting one where it's like, her, like, role, I guess, there's just a lot happening.
There is a lot happening, and I feel like whoever wrote this description of her and her sisters really hates women.
So then, Ivan walks for some time before encountering a small hut identical to the first. This Baba Yaga makes the same comments and asks the same question as the first, and Ivan asks the same question. The second Baba Yaga does not know either and directs him to the third, but says that if she gets angry with him and wants to devour you, take 3 horns from her and ask her permission to blow them. Blow the first one softly, the second one louder, and the third one louder still. Ivan thanks her and continues on the journey. After walking some time, Ivan eventually finds the chicken-legged hut of the youngest of the 3 sisters turning in an open field. This third and youngest of the Baba Yagas makes the same comment about the Russian smell before running to wet her teeth and consume Ivan. Ivan begs her to give him 3 horns, and she does so. The first he blows softly, the second louder, and the third louder yet. This causes the birds of all sorts to arrive and swarm the hut. One of the birds is the firebird, which tells him to hop on its back or Baba Yaga will eat him. He does so, and Baba Yaga rushes him and grabs the firebird by its tail. The firebird leaves with Ivan, leaving Baba Yaga behind with a fistful of firebird feathers. In Afanasev's collection of tales, Baba Yaga also appears in Baba Yaga and Zamoryshek by command of the Prince Daniel. Vasilisa the Beautiful, Mariana Moraneva, Maria Moranvna, Realms of Copper, Silver, and Gold, the Sea Star and Sar and Vasilia the Wise, and the Legless Knight and the Blind Knight. So basically, she kind of makes a lot of appearances, it seems like, in specifically Slavic fairy tales, but her role is just very like sometimes she's like the description of Baba Yaga, like sometimes it's her and her sister. So it's kind of interesting on if she's actually like a character or just like a character type, you know?
Right.
Which it would be weird
Like,
to
not
me.
really a person, just kind of like a generalization.
Yeah, which is also weird to me though, because I'm like, how do you have a character type and it is something that specific? You know? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
type when you're typing a character, it's usually like fairly vague. Having a house with chicken legs does not scream vague to me. I could be wrong, but
I mean, it's a first for me. Don't meet a lot of people with that specific niche, but you know what? Maybe I'm just ignorant.
that's fair. I know, me too, because that's new for me too. So, Andreas Johns describes Baba Yaga as one of the most memorable and distinctive figures in Eastern European folklore, and observes that she is agnomic and often exhibits striking ambiguity. He characterizes Baba Yaga as a many faceted figure, capable of inspiring researchers to see her as a cloud, moon, death, winter, snake, bird, pelican, or earth goddess, totemic, matriarchal, ancestress, female initiator, phallic mother, or archetypal image. So,
Oh.
yeah, basically what he's trying to say, from what I could tell, because I looked that up, because I was like, what the fuck is this guy trying to say? He's basically like her role in books where like the details differ greatly. She almost always is connected to nature, um, connected to feminine power, connected to some sort of like old world thing, like ancestry or like old magic, like these types of things, as well as like the, I guess, darker side of nature symbolism. So like death, moon, like then basically the nighttime snake, like predators, like these types of things. Like she has all those connections. So I did
Right.
think that was kind of interesting. Um, and then Baba Yaga also appears on a variety of lubki, which in its singular is called a lubok, which is wood block prints that were popular in the late 17th and early 18th century Russia. In some instances, Baba Yaga appears astride a pig going into battle against a reptilian entity referred to as just as crocodile. And then, so yeah, she's been busy. She also apparently rides a pig sometimes when she's fighting crocodiles, but I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty fucking cool.
Right? But Dmitry Rovanovsky, who's another researcher, interprets this scene specifically because it came up so much on these wooden block prints that it's a
Right.
political parody. Peter the Great persecuted old believers, which in turn they refer to him as a crocodile. So she's kind of representing like the old world of thinking and like what people maybe identified more with. And her going to battle against the crocodiles, her going into battle, or like the people going against Peter the Great.
Mm.
So then Rovanovsky notices that some Lubki feature a ship below the crocodile, which is then interpreted as a hint to the rule of Peter the Great, while Baba Yaga, dressed in Finnish dress, which is also known as a chakhanka dress, and that may be a hint to Peter the Great's wife, Catherine the First, who's sometimes derisively referred to as the chakhanka, which is just Finnish woman. A lubak that features Baba Yaga dancing with a bagpipe playing bald man has been identified as a merrier depiction of the home life of Peter and Catherine. Some other scholars who've interpreted these Lubki motifs as reflecting the concept of Baba Yaga as a shaman, the crocodile would in this case represent a monster who fights witches, and the print would be something of a cultural melange that demonstrates an interest in shamanism at the time. So either way, when Baba Yaga comes up in storytelling, in art, all these things, she is a very powerful figure, whether it be like how she's representing or conceptually like what she's standing for, I guess. But either way is a huge mark of paganism. Like everything about her and her background is like very deeply rooted in paganism.
Right.
Then, according to Andreas Johns, neither of these two interpretations significantly change the image of Baba Yaga familiar with from folk tales. Either she can be seen as a literal evil witch, treated somewhat humorously in these prints, or as a figurative witch, as unpopular foreign empress. Both literal and figurative understandings of Baba Yaga are documented in the 19th century and were probably present at the time that these prints were made. So, Jezebaba, a figure closely related to Baba Yaga, occurs in the folklore of the West Slavic peoples. The two figures may originate from a common figure known during the Middle Ages or earlier. Both figures are similarly ambiguous in character, but differ in appearance and the different tale types they occur in. Questions linger regarding the limited Slavic area, East Slavic nations, Slovakia, and the Czech lands, in which references to Jezebaba are recorded. Jedza, another figure related to Baba Yaga, appears in Polish folklore. And then the similarities between Baba Yaga and other beings in folklore may be due to either direct relation or cultural contact between the Eastern Slavs and other surrounding peoples. In Central and Eastern Europe, those figures include the Bulgarian Gorska Majka, which is Forest Mother, or the name of a flower, the Hungarian Vasaru Baba, the iron-nosed midwife, and the Serbian Baba Korizma, Gvozdezuba, Iron Tooth, Baba Roga, which is used to scare children in Bosnia, Croatia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Serbia, Samska Majka, the Forest Mother, and Babais, and the Slovenian Yaga Baba, or Jagababa, or Jezebaba. I know we're getting far, but we'll circle back soon. Peshta or Petra Baba, and Kavastrana Baba and Kavastranika. In Romanian folklore, similarities have been identified in several figures, including Mama Pădure, which is again Forest Mother, or Baba Clonta, referring to the nose of a bird's beak. In neighboring Germanic Europe, similarities have been observed between the Alpine Pershta and Holda, or Hol, in the folklore of central and northern Germany, and the Swiss Chalungari.
Wait, I think you've talked about Perchta before, right?
I was about to say, which you will recognize the name Perchta because I've covered her before specifically in Slavic Christmas traditions.
So maybe we haven't talked about Baba Yaga before. Maybe it's just that she's related to, or like has relations to Perchta.
Right.
And that's what we've talked about.
So the reason why I went through over this whole umbrella of the 1 million different versions of Jezebaba,
all the Babas.
All of the Babas.
Baba squared.
Yeah, every Baba you can think of, is because this is further why people think she's more meant to be taken conceptually, is because there are so many different versions of Baba, but not just like localized. So it's like all these different countries, all these different cultures have a version of her, but they almost always connect back to a authoritative female figure that is directly connected to nature. So that's kind of why they think this is going on. Lastly, I have that some scholars have proposed that the concept of Baba Yaga was influenced by East Slavic contact with Finno-Ugric and Siberian peoples. The hut on chicken legs deep in the woods plainly resembles huts raised on one or several stilts using stumps with roots for the stilts, in popular use by Finno-Ugric people and also found in forests rather than in the villages. And the stumps with roots may be uprooted and laid in a new place, as in the example exhibited in Wisconsin, because they have that, or in the ground where it was felled. Like Baba Yaga's hut, these are normally cramped for a person, though. Unlike Baba Yaga's house, they do not actively walk and do not contain a stove, being intended as storehouses and not for the living. The Karelian figure Siojdar has some aspects of Baba Yaga as well, but only the negative ones, while other Karelian tales, helpful roles akin to those from Baba Yaga, may be performed by a character, which again is Akka, an old woman. So that basically wraps up the who of who Baba Yaga is, because I was trying to think back on me covering this story before, and I probably covered more of like her actual folkloric stories, but I was like, if I have covered her before, this will be a new spin on like what she could possibly be, or why she exists, or the reasons why she's a character, or like I told you, the first iteration of her being in a story and these types of things. But
Right.
either way, I will say it is interesting that she's known to be like a powerful pagan feminine figure, and also is apparently ugly as all hell. So I feel like that's not a coincidence.
I feel like that just goes to show that men can never let women be happy, and they have to nitpick and make them feel bad about themselves. So, fucking men do at it again. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, we really do enjoy being haters, but I will say it's at a certain point, is it really a coincidence?
I love being a hater. Okay, I'm a professional hater.
Jen's like, I have actively worked at this. I'm working towards my certificate.
Hell yeah.
Right? But that is basically my story for you today. Does this feel familiar to you, Jen?
I feel like elements, but I can't recall if we actually specifically talked about her before.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we've talked about similar stories, because I feel like there is a common theme of like women who are deemed witches, who have a lot of these specific traits or like things that people assume about them. Like even in the historical, like real life people who have been accused of witchcraft, I think a lot of these things kind of run true, where they're like seen as these ugly, evil people with vaginas that are scary and shameful,
and giant noses,
yeah.
and huge, long, ugly boobs, and bony legs,
Yeah.
and iron teeth, and whatever else they said about her. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So, shocked? No.
Yeah, no, I do think she's interesting, though, because like I said, it may just be because I'm not super cultured when it comes to this stuff, but the whole concept of like, yeah, your house is run off chicken legs, and also a horrendous woman who may or may not help you, and people will swear is evil and has like 2 twin sisters but doesn't. I don't know, it's just all very interesting to me.
It is. And I feel like, honestly, like a lot of the things that we talked about are like stereotypes that like we associate with witches, of like them being these evil, disgusting creatures, when really like they were based off of like women just living their fucking lives,
Well,
and
especially her
trying
deal, like it just kept coming up, like nature mother, like all of these things where it literally every iteration is that Baba Yaga is meant to be perceived as a powerful woman who is connected to nature. Like that is like the main motif that is repeated over and over and over again. And that men have to like lower themselves to like come to her for help or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, sure.
men.
I didn't go super in on it because I was also thinking that I probably covered this in the last Baba Yaga episode, if I'm right, and I did, because I really feel like I did. That is another consistency with her stories, is that it's not often that it is women seeking out Baba Yaga for help. It is almost always specifically men.
And then men who feel threatened by her.
And her huge vagina. Yeah. Just like real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. Well, if you liked today's episode, you can leave us a review on wherever you're listening to our podcast. 5 stars, as always, is appreciated if you can afford it. I know they're free, but are they?
Are they?
Are they? And then we also have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com. We have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. We have our Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, which is all at Wheel of Crime. We have our Patreon, which is Wheel of Crime at Patreon. And we do keep our listener forum up on all of our social media. If you would like to write into the show with a story of your own, maybe you have your own experience with Baba Yaga, or you have your own story about Baba Yaga. That would be really sick. You could write into the show and let us know all about it, and potentially get a feature on our next listener episode.
Yes, and that's it. That's all. We'll see you next week for another new episode, and it will be just as spooky.
Yes, always. It's always spooky around here.
So spooky. We can't wait. Also, we are going to be doing a listener episode at the end of October for Halloween, so get your stories in.
Yes. And that brings us to the end, I guess. You want to sign us off, Jenn?
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.